Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back. I'm just going to jump into today's topic, which is this gorgeous palette from Bellabeautébar, and this is the Pastel Garden palette. I want to keep this fairly short and sweet, but I wanted to review this palette because it's probably the prettiest, most gorgeous palette I've ever seen and or tried. From the name and probably the thumbnail, I think you could guess, but this is a pastel palette. I ordered this from the Monolith website, which is a European website or retailer shop for indie brands. It is quite expensive, to be honest with you, but thankfully when I went on the website it was on sale and I took that as a sign and I just immediately ordered it. I've been using it for I think 3 or 4 weeks now. Since these are pastel shadows, they are by nature more like a drier formula and they have more fallout or kickback or whatever you want to call it, but that's down to them being pastel shadows. I'm not a cosmetic chemist or anything of that sort, but just based on my experience, pastel shadows tend to be drier and have more fallout or kickback. They are quite easy to blend. I never had any issues with them. I tried these shadows over 3 different bases or primers. First I tried it on a creamier product, like a thicker formula, and it didn't work. It was patchy, didn't stick into the product well enough, and it was just a mess. Then I tried a regular concealer, like these more liquidy ones, and it was definitely better, but it just wasn't sitting right. It wasn't perfect, quote unquote. It just wasn't it. Then I tried it with the P. base, and game changer. It was the best application out of those 3 for sure. Easiest to blend, most payoff in color, and just overall the best look out of those 3. To be completely honest, the P. base is not far from a regular concealer, so maybe it's just the concealer that I tried that wasn't great, and that's why it didn't work with that for me. But out of these 3, personally for me, the P. was the best option as a base. I actually don't have much to say other than this is an incredible eyeshadow palette. Best pastel shadows I have ever tried, and I really like them, and I hope that they never stop making this palette, because if I run out of this and it's not available, I'm gonna cry. I recorded a tutorial of this look for you so that you can see this palette in action. So here's the tutorial. I'm going to use the P. base. I actually like using colored bases under these shadows as well, but today I'm not going to do that, so you can see the real true color of these shadows on top of a normal base, and there's no additional color, just the shadows. I think I'm going to start with Daylily, and maybe I'll use a little bit of Archangel as well. My next shade will be Iris or Iris, which is this one. And since purple and yellow are not compatible in terms of you can't blend them into each other without it looking brown and muddy, I am trying to not take the purple too far up. I'm kind of concentrating it in this area and only blending it just a little bit. Color makes me happy. Since I'm doing a very basic look and only using just a few colors, I am going to try and look for footage of me using this palette from different tutorials so you can see some of the other colors in action as well. And I'll cut it into the video somewhere here. I'm going to use a black shadow from a different palette to kind of do a shadow wing or darken up the lash line a little bit. I really want to use something sparkly. This shade is called Japanese Rose, which I think is a beautiful name. These names are quite unique. A lot of them are ones that I haven't seen in other palettes, which is refreshing and very nice to see. By the way, now that we are on the topic of shimmery, shiny shadows from this palette, I want to show you three of my favorites. They look absolutely stunning. They are Astrantia, I have no idea how to pronounce that one, I'm sorry. And then I'm obsessed with, well, I'm not gonna say it like that. I like this shade Morning Glory and Zinnia, if that's how it's pronounced. But they are the most gorgeous shades ever. This is one of my favorite color combos, by the way. Probably on par with pink and green. And I'm guessing because usually these colors are not put together or used together. Maybe that's why I like these combinations, because they are more unique and you don't see them every day. Honestly, I think a dope graphic liner on the top half would work very well, but I don't think I have the patience for that today. Instead, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite tricks. Before that, I do wanna add another shimmer, and I think I want to add Forget Me Not, which is a pink, but if I hold my finger and the swatch up to the mirror, it kind of looks lavender-ish. So I think it's a pink to lavender duochrome, which I think could look dope on the like lower inner corner part. I'm gonna do mascara on the top lashes first so that it has time to dry. So if you know one of the most iconic looks from the 60s, which is the Twiggy makeup or Twiggy look, you know the most iconic part of it is the under eye. And I'm obsessed with that look, but I can't ever get it to work on my eyes. The lower lash line just never works for me. It always looks weird, it smudges together. It just doesn't work for me. So what I do instead is I use gems and I glue them on with lash glue on the lower lash line, well, under the lower lash line, and that's kind of my cheat code for this look. I put them on this side. It's so much quicker and easier to do, and it looks more neat, and I love it. I'm going to put on lashes and finish the whole face and the whole look.